everybody to just...
Like a circle.
Yeah.
Sit down in a circle and talk.
Well, I know that... Oh, my God.
Strange land. I found myself in a strange land. Everyone was busy, going up and down at a vertiginous speed. One finally noticed my presence. He shouted, "An alien!" Suddenly, I was surrounded. "Who are you?" they asked. If only I knew, I answered. "What are you doing here?" "Just trying to save my life." "You are then violating law number XYZ, therefore you should be punished for your offense." I gathered all my energy to say, "I'm innocent." They replied, "What else could you say? Don't worry, you'll be given an attorney." The attorney advised me, "Plead guilty, that will save time." I then shouted, "But I'm innocent." He said, "That's the perfect reaction of a culprit," he said. "What do you have pleaded not guilty?" I asked. "I'm afraid you might not live long enough to see the end of the trial." "What if I plead guilty? At least you'll be sentenced to death at once. And believe me, that's the best way out." And the title poem, which is, I wrote it at the turn of the century. And the title, the name of the book is called What a Century, and then the book also is What a Century. That's the title poem. And I like to say, like, what a century. I wasn't there on New Year's Eve, 1899, and I hope to be here on New Year's Eve, 1999. I don't know if I should be proud sitting by my computer accessing the World Wide Web, as they were all proud 100 years ago about the explosion of science and technology. As a programmer, I'm not worried about the year 2000 birth. In case of difficulties, you could always call Bill Gates of Steel Jobs. Don't ask me about the reason of my fear. You know what happened. 14 years after the celebration of the new century, while the people were still waiting for the benefits of the progress, warplane, tanks, and bomb came and took lives. For 4 years, they buried the dead and said, never again. 21 years after that, the unthinkable happened again and lasted for 5 years. Again, they buried the victims. Again, they said, never again. I don't want to talk about Cold War and a victim. I would rather talk about Neil Armstrong, who made the first step on the moon in July '69. Let's talk about Einstein, who deciphered the mystery of the universe with the famous E equal mc squared. Today, they don't just make revolutions, they are revolutionizing the revolutions. The very day I wore a blouse to join them in the lab, they came out with Dolly, one of the wonders of the century, born without a biological father. Amazing, isn't it? I was still wondering when the news came out. Dolly gave birth with a wonderful baby sheep. This time, the baby had a father. What a century. I turned on my TV just in time to see Colombia lifting up with strange astronaut aboard. 18 pregnant mice, 152 rats, 233 fish, 1,514 crickets, and 135 snails. Where are they going? I asked myself. Scared, I decided to turn off the TV before the next school. I don't know what they are plotting up there, but I could certainly protest. If upon their return down here, these snails return faster than me, for sure I will protest to who it may concern.
I get that.
So it was like watching them just go through I was like, okay.
Yeah,
I get this. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
What you're trying to teach me, but
But then you can be able to convey that.
Right.
That's the articulation.
Perfect. She affected me a lot. And then telling me about preparing me to go through this life. And this one, I titled it, rightfully so, I Miss You, Mom. Mom, I don't know how long I've been going. It seems a journey without end. I've been trying to be awake, but at times my eyes are just too heavy. When I woke up the first time, I realized they all fled from my car. Even the conductor is out of sight, though there's no doubt the train is moving forward. I pulled the emergency brake. A red flashing light came with a message, please do not disturb until the next stop. I don't know how long it might be. Maybe when I woke up the next time. I won't remember the destination, though I can't wait to get there. If I'm lucky enough to be with you, all I know is that I'll never leave you again for a second. Thank you.
You send these to your mom?
Oh, yes.
Kenya, again, it starts with a portrait of two children, then a poetic message written as if through these children's eyes about what they're dealing with and experiencing in Kenya. And then a one-page summary to help you understand. And finally, the nonprofit Bloodwater Mission.
In this case, so what's Bloodwater Mission doing?
Bloodwater Mission fights AIDS in places like Kenya, all over Africa, and also they build wells for clean water.
Thank you.
Get
No,
this, you
because
know?
there's a lot of articulation that you have their time to get it, and I think your time is arrived.
Yeah, I know. That's why they keep telling me this, like, okay, Mom, what are you going to do?
What are you
You
gonna
know,
do?
because
This is
first
it.
I had a daughter that did spoken words, and she kept saying, okay, Mom, don't you just get up there and try? And I kept saying, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to
Well,
do
guess
this.
what?
You know?
You're doing it.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
going to South Africa.
But right now I'm in the process of recording
Whenever the
with
27th
music
is.
and
Fine.
doing all
Yeah,
this.
Tuesday.
And I still
Wednesday, whatever.
really want
For a couple
videotape
days,
like
out there.
right now.
You know what? She was like that for so long. It was very. It took a long time getting out and doing it over and over and over again.
A lot of us are participating in this Human Rights Art Festival, and we were talking a little bit earlier, and I know Ome Congo and Karen, you weren't here, just about how the very first year of these festivals, it's sometimes, there's a lot of unknown. And it was a very ambitious festival. There's 400 artists here, and we were saying that we wish that if we had been able to shrink the space, then we could all go to each other's events, and I think they would feel quite full. But there are a lot of people out there talking about things that they care about, and talking about what it means to be human and what sorts of inalienable rights we all have. And I think that it's very powerful. It's been really fun just to meet the artists. And I think that if we're able to do this in future years, we'll build an audience. But I think that if you already do this work, you know it's hard to get people to listen sometimes. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Claire Schwadron. I work with Project Youth Outreach. I do work with court-involved youth inside correctional facilities and also on probation programs. And we bring specifically visual, literary, and performing arts to these young people to try to help them find alternative ways to express themselves and let them know that they can be heard, and it's good to take healthy risks, but not so good to take these unhealthy risks that they've been taking that have jeopardized their future. So the artists we work with are very dedicated and really also very talented in how they work with these young people. And we've had the opportunity to work with some of the poets. So Ome Congo and Lubo have worked in our projects in Project Youth Outreach. And Guy is someone who's shown, I've met with, and we've talked about bringing him into the facilities as well. So we have a few of those poems if I have time to share with you from those young people. But I think it's, for me, more important to hear from the poets that are here today. So Karen's work is on the wall, and she's also a poet, so we thought maybe we could start with you, because we have this beautiful visual.